Welcome back, my dear students. So, in your previous class, you have learnt the chapter 1 called Physical World. There you have learnt what is science, what is physics, what do you mean by scientific method, the steps involved in the scientific method. Then you have learnt some of the scientists' names along with their discoveries or contributions. Then you have learnt some of the technology's name and their principle behind that technology. And in today's class, we are going to learn some of the topics or the physics is divided in about physics, some more concepts about the physics. Physics is further divided into two types. That is modern physics and classical physics. Classical physics and modern physics. Is this old physics and new physics? No, not like that. Classical physics means it is the physics that deals with the study of macroscopic objects or things. Here the study is on the macroscopic objects. Whereas in modern physics, the study is on the microscopic things. Microscopic. What do you mean by macroscopic and microscopic? Macroscopic means it is the phenomena where you are dealing with only the things which can be seen through your naked eyes. Whereas microscopic, you cannot see through your naked eyes. You should use some of the technologies like lens or microscopes. I can say instead of lens is a very, very small thing, can be like smaller things can be seen clearly, but microscopic things you are going to study very 10 to the power minus 6, less than that the size should be, then it is microscopic things. So in classical physics you are going to study about the macroscopic things, the things which you can see through your naked eyes, and in modern physics you will be studying with the microscopic phenomena things. So I can say the classical physics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of macroscopic phenomena. So classical physics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of macroscopic phenomena. Whereas modern physics is also a branch of physics which deals with the study of microscopic phenomena. So if the question is asked, what do you mean by modern physics? Modern physics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of microscopic phenomena. One example for classical physics, concept involved under classical physics is mechanics, electrodynamics, optics, mechanics, electrodynamics, optics, thermodynamics, etc. Mechanics, it is related to the rocket propulsion, laws of gravitation, then it is coming like sound, waves, etc. comes under mechanics. So in the concept called mechanics, you will be studying about sound, waves, laws of motion or gravitation, etc. It is related, something related to mechanics. Mechanics means it is something related to the sound, waves, laws of motion, laws of gravitation, etc. Electrodynamics. Electrodynamics is a branch of physics. It is related to the study of electric and magnetic phenomena associated with the charged bodies. Electrodynamics is dealing with the study of electric and magnetic magnetic effects with the charged bodies. In case of optics, optics is nothing but is a branch of physics which deals with the study of light. Thermodynamics is a branch of physics itself. So all these are branch of physics which deals with the study of this. They are branch of physics. Thermodynamics deals with the study of temperature, heat, etc. So about sound, waves and all, if you study, that concepts comes under mechanics. Mechanics is coming under classical physics. Classical physics is coming under physics. Physics is coming under science. Correct? Electrodynamics, it is a branch of classical physics. Classical physics again physics. Physics is from science. So I can say classical physics is the study of, it's a branch of physics which deals with the study of macroscopic phenomena like mechanics, electrodynamics, optics and thermodynamics, etc. Mechanics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of laws of motion, laws of gravitation, sound, etc. Electrodynamics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of magnetic and electric effects on the charged bodies. Optics, it is a branch of physics which deals with, classical physics which deals with the study of light. Thermodynamics, it is a branch of classical physics which deals with the study of temperature, heat, etc. So in your first year, you are going to deal with mechanics and thermodynamics. When you go for the second year, you will deal with the electrodynamics and optics concept. Okay, so in first year, you will study more about mechanics and thermodynamics, and in second year, you will study more about about electrodynamics and optics. So the two concepts of classical physics will be learnt in first year, and two concepts of the classical physics will be learnt in the second year. Next, modern physics. We said the modern physics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of microscopic phenomena like, which and all I can say, which is coming under microscopic. I can say atomic physics, nuclear physics, condensed matter physics, etc. So atomic physics, nuclear physics, condensed matter physics, etc. or astrological physics, astrophysics, everything comes under modern physics. So these are coming under modern physics, and these are coming under classical physics. So topics involved in modern physics is atomic physics, nuclear physics, condensed matter physics and astrophysics. Atomic physics means, what do you mean by atomic physics? The physics which is related to the atoms. And nuclear physics also related to atom and subatomic particles itself. See, these are dealing with the electron, proton, neutron. Electron, proton, neutron are very minute particles which you cannot see through your naked eyes. You need some equipments like microscopes. So, these are called microscopic phenomena. Condensed matter physics also, it is dealing with the atoms. And astrophysics also, you cannot see all the particles in the sky, so you will have to use some of the equipments like telescope or some other resolved equipments to see the things. So these are nothing but modern physics. These are coming under classical physics. Okay. The next concept which we are moving for is The phenomenon included in macroscopic domain and microscopic domain. What is this macroscopic domain and microscopic domain? Before going that, see, physics. In this concept called physics, we will be dealing with a small size and also a large size also. So, scope of physics is vast. Therefore, I can say, we can see the things minus 14 meter, from 10 to the power minus 14 meter to 10 to the power 26 meter size we will be dealing in physics. 10 to the power minus 14 is nothing but the size of the electron size it is. This is electron size, this is universe size. So, we will be speaking in physics, we can speak the size very, very small, that is 10 to the power minus 14. 10 to the power minus 14 means after 0 point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, like this, many zeros. After that, so much small. Very small things, size we will be dealing, and also large size things also will be speaking about, that is 10 to the power 26 means after 1, so many zeros, 26 zeros I have to put. I cannot say it as a lakhs or millions, it is a very big number. So we will be speaking as 10 to the power 26. Not only that, in mass also, in case this is about length or the size. In case of mass, 10 to the power minus 30 to 10 to the power 55. To the power minus 30 to 10 to the power minus 55. This is mass. It is related to mass of the electron, and that is mass of the universe. Mass known as universe. So 10 to the power minus 30, such a small mass also we will measure, and such a big mass, 10 to the power 55 kgs also we will be speaking. Then, in terms of time, 10 to the power minus 22 seconds to 10 to the power 12 second we will be speaking. 10 to the power minus 22 seconds to 10 to the power 12 seconds. So 10 to the power minus 22 means very, very small time. 1 second itself, if you close your eyes and open, it will be gone. Then you think about 10 to the power minus 22 second, very, very small timings. 10 to the power 12, 1 hour itself is a very big second. So 10 to the power 12 seconds also you are going to speak. So physics is having lots of scope. Not only this, these are few concepts we just said we can deal with. Length, mass, time, basic concepts. Okay. So physics is not a small thing. It is a vast subject. Then macroscopic domain and microscopic domain. Macroscopic domain. What do you mean by macroscopic domain? Can you help me? What do you mean by macroscopic domain? It includes phenomena at laboratory, terrestrial and astronomical scales. Laboratory, terrestrial and astronomical. Macroscopic domain means it includes phenomenon at laboratory, terrestrial and astronomical scales. Okay. It includes phenomenon at laboratory. Laboratories you use to see the macroscopic things. You are using terrestrial things also. You can see terrestrial things. You can use astronomical scales under the macroscopic domain. In case of microscopic domain, What about microscopic domain? Microscopic domain includes atomic, molecular and nuclear phenomenon. Atomic, molecular and nuclear phenomenon. Microscopic domain includes atomic or molecular and nuclear phenomenon under the microscopic domain. So, macroscopic domain means it is a phenomenon including in laboratory, terrestrial and astronomical scales, whereas microscopic domain includes atomic, molecular and nuclear phenomenon. The next concept which we are moving for is about the forces. You know there are different types of forces present, correct? There are many different types of forces like gravitational force, nuclear force, atomic force, etc. Okay. There are 4 fundamental forces in nature. 4 fundamental forces in nature. The 4 fundamental forces in nature are strong nuclear force. 1. Strong nuclear force. Second one, what I can say is electromagnetic force. Third one, weak nuclear force. And the fourth one is gravitational force. There are 4 fundamental forces in nature. First one, strong nuclear force, electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force and gravitational force. These all 4 forces also you know it. But still, once again I said, no, this chapter is a basic chapter where you are using all the basic concepts, you are seeing all the basic concepts which you have already learnt. So, 4 fundamental forces, very important question for 2 marks for your final exam also. Write 4 fundamental forces in nature. The question is, so answer is strong nuclear force, electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force and gravitational force. Strong nuclear force. It is the strongest force out of these 4 forces. And gravitational force is the weakest force. This is the strongest force. And this is the weakest force. Strongest force and weakest force in nature. This strong nuclear force is present in atom. That is, it is binding neutron and proton inside the atom. It binds proton and neutron in the nucleus. Very small nucleus. You know what is nucleus? Nucleus consists of proton and neutron. Okay. These proton and neutron are combined and held together very tightly inside the nucleus. The force present is called strong nuclear force. Very strong force it is, which is little bit difficult to separate them. Next, strong nuclear force is an attractive force. It is not repulsive force. It is attractive force. Very, very, very high attraction is present. So, strong nuclear force is a strongest force in the nature out of 4, all fundamental forces, and it is about 100 times of electromagnetic force. It is 100 times greater than electromagnetic force. Electromagnetic force, it is a force, okay, that present due to the electric and magnetic effect. That is, if the charges are rest. There are two charges. If the two charge or three more charges, okay, if the charges are at rest, the force between them is nothing but electrostatic force. Then if the charges are in motion, there will be a magnetic effect. The combination of the electrostatic force and magnetic effect is nothing but electromagnetic force. This is not the strongest of force, but it is stronger than weak nuclear force and gravitational force. Strongest force out of four fundamental force is strong nuclear force. Then electromagnetic force is stronger than these two but weaker than strong nuclear force. When it is occurring electromagnetic force, it is when the force between the two charged particles which are at rest is called electrostatic force, and charges between the motion particles, if it is in motion, that is magnetic effect. Hence, the combination of the electric and magnetic effect is nothing but electromagnetic force. You have learned something about electric and magnetic effect in your 10th standard, correct? The combination of those two will give you electromagnetic force. Then, weak nuclear force. Weak nuclear force, it appears only in certain nuclear processes like radioactivity. Marie Curie name, correct? Radioactivity. Weak nuclear, the scientist name we remember when the word radioactivity comes. Weak nuclear force. It is a force appears only in the certain case like nuclear processes. In case of nuclear process it exists, that is radioactivity. It is weaker force but stronger than gravitational force. It is not the weakest force, it is a weak force but greater than, it is a little bit stronger than gravitational force. The last one is gravitational force. Gravitational force is the weakest force in nature. This gravitational force exists between the two bodies depending upon the mass. If the mass is more gravitational force. If the mass is less gravitational force. Even you are having some mass, there is a force of attraction between your body and the one more body, but since the mass is very less compared to your Earth has more gravitational force compared to you. So you can stand firm on the Earth because of the gravitational force. So gravitational force, you say you are standing because of the gravitational force, very strong you think. No, but compared to all these three, this is the weakest force in nature. So gravitational force is the weakest force in nature. So please learn about these four fundamental forces in nature. Very, very, very important. This gravitational force is always an attractive force. This electromagnetic force is there, no? It can be either attractive or repulsive. But strong nuclear force is always attractive. This one and this one are attractive. This is maybe either attractive or repulsive. Here we will be speaking only in terms of the nuclear processes like radioactivity. The next concept which we are moving for is about the few concepts are remaining. That is about the unification and reduction. Since it is a very small concept, one more small concept is there. Okay. Next, the next concept is unification. Unification is nothing but single phenomenon is explained by combining two or more concepts. For example, laws of gravitation. Using laws of gravitation given by the Newton, you can explain why the apple is falling to the ground. You know that story, correct? That when Newton was sitting under a tree, an apple falls on it and he started thinking, why this apple is falling on him? Why it is not going up? And then he found this laws of gravitation, correct? This laws of gravitation is not only explaining about that apple, why it is falling on the ground, and also it explains why the moon is revolving around the earth. It is because of the gravitation, correct? Then, so one law can be explained, is explained by combining two or more concepts, like not only about why apple falls on the ground, we can also explain why the moon is revolving around the earth. So many concepts are coming under the law. Two or more concepts can be explained using the laws of gravitation. That is nothing but unification, combining. So single phenomena is explained by combining two or more concepts. Reductionism, name itself says you are reducing it. So properties of the bigger complex system is explained from the properties of its constituent simpler parts. So reductionism means you are reducing it to a smaller parts and explaining. Just like we have explained the 4 steps involved in the systematic studies. That is 4 steps by using a dog, correct? I could have explained using the bigger, some science, whatever theories are there, using that I could explain it. But it will be difficult for you to understand. So I took one dog, and we have taken one dog and we have explained it for simplicity. So in the same way, reductionism means bigger properties of the bigger complex system is explained from the properties of its constituent simpler parts. Example, so these are the examples I am saying about. Example, temperature in case of thermodynamics can be explained using the kinetic theory of the kinetic movement of the molecules, by using the kinetic energy of the molecules in the system. That means if the molecules are moving faster and faster, more and more, then and hitting to another molecule, it produces temperature, energy. So that motion of the molecules, if we speak about, it says about the temperature. We are not going to directly speak about temperature. We can say the movement of the molecules can be explained using the temperature. So this is nothing but unification and about the reductionism. So please learn all the concepts till now, whatever is explained, and here we complete this first chapter of the physics called physical world. That is, we have started simple chapter it is. We have started with what? Firstly we have started with science, then physics, then we have come across 2 types of physics, then we spoke about scientific method, steps involved in the scientific method, then we spoke about the scientists' names and their discoveries, principle behind the technologies, then we spoke about the fundamental 4 forces in nature, then unification and reductionism. Please learn this chapter, very simple and easy chapter. Okay? Thank you.